What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Work Knife Balance. We're going to be diving into a couple knives we got from the pass around recently. This is a new crossbar lock from a well-known company. So let's go ahead and head to the top down and see what we got. All right. So we're going to be taking a look at a Kershaw. But before we get too far into that, I want to go ahead and say thank you to anybody who's already liked and subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. You can also follow us at WorkKnifeBalance939 on Instagram. That's the best way to communicate with us. Let us know what you want to see, what you don't want to see, all that cool jazz. But you are not really here to talk about that. You want to see the knife. So we'll go ahead and open up and get into this knife. This one came in a pass around that I got right before Father's Day from the Lefty EDC pass around group. I believe this one came courtesy of Knife Standards. I don't remember exactly. But this is a new Kershaw, or I guess it's an update to a Kershaw. This is a premium version of the Kershaw Heist. And so this thing's pretty fantastic. I really like it. The original Heist was pretty cool, but it had slightly less premium materials. So we'll go ahead and do overall measurements, side-by-side comparisons. I'll give you my thoughts on the updated version and price that comes with that, because obviously with new premium materials, you've got a updated price to that. So we'll go ahead and get started with that, though, and then we'll be done with this. So should be a fast video. Not confident, but we should have a fast video. I'll see how much I ramble on. But tip to tail measurement, we are looking at about 7.5, let's say 7.55 on the overall length. Looking at about 3.25 on the blade length with about 3.25. Yeah, so 3.25 and 3.25. So 3.25 on the overall blade length and cutting edge there. Yeah, I like it. Kershaw calls it their mid-compact knife, and I think that fits the category. For some side-by-side comparisons, we'll go ahead and pull the NAF's Lander 2. You can put that up there right there. That has very similar measurements, and obviously you can see the side-by-side are very close. It's one of the closest comparisons we're going to see today, I think. We've got the Kershaw right down below. Sorry, not Kershaw. We've got the Kaiser Veritas. This is a Kershaw. Man, we've got the Kaiser Veritas down below. Go ahead and put that away. You're going to get the Civivi Elementum button lock. Put that up down below right there. We'll go ahead and get the CJRB Pyrite. This is the Warney version of the Pyrite, and put that down below right there. Then we will get a CDC Chicago. We'll put that on the bottom. We'll go ahead and take away the NAF's Lander now, and we'll get one more kind of smaller knife out here. This is going to be the Sencut Kyriel Ferrum Forge design knife. Put that up top. So that gives you a couple really good side-by-side comparisons, some good knives, some budget knives, some popular knives, something that y'all probably have in your collection at now or at some point, so you've been able to kind of know and see how it feels like. But yeah, this is Kershaw's bar lock knife on this. This is their bar lock design right here. I believe they call it the Duralock. It's nice. You have the dual thumb studs, so it is truly an ambidextrous knife, and you actually have the little milled out spots right here to where you could actually flip the clip over. So you've got threadings in here that you could actually take the clip off and put it on the other side. So you could have a truly ambidextrous knife with the dual thumb studs and the bar lock right there. That was user error. I was holding this down as it went up, so I held that down and then it just went up down. That's what that was right there. But yeah, you can reverse flick, as you saw me go right there. You can also get a really nice thumb flick off that thumb stud there. Other than that, those are kind of the deployment methods. You can open this and flick out. I know people who do that. Actually, one of my buddies, that's how he opens almost all of his bar locks. He'll just do that. I don't necessarily love it personally, but you can if you want to. Aesthetics on the knife are really nice. I like that the blade is a little bit chubbier as you open it up and look like that. So if you see that, it's actually wider than the handle. It gives you a really nice kind of like leaf shape to the drop point, I guess. And I like that about it personally. I think it looks cool when it's closed. It has like a little round edge coming over to the bottom right here as well. The swedge at the top is really nice. You have a really nice kind of satin finish with the stonewash flats. So the grinded edges, and the swedge have a really nice kind of rubbed satin finish on it. And then you've got stonewash flats. I like it because you can have that kind of, let's see if we can get it. You have that kind of sheen go back and forth, and the shine go back and forth between there. You've got the traditional Kershaw banding right there. On the other side at the top right here is when, if we can get that to focus in, get that to, you can see CPM S35VN. So that's one of the biggest upgrades. So the original Heist was a D2 and came in at about 60 to 80 bucks. I believe they're actually on Amazon right now for 50 bucks, if I saw right before this. Yeah. So they're usually right around like 65 to 80, depending upon when you got it and where you're getting it from. But they are on Amazon right now for 50 bucks, the D2 version. This version comes in at about $120. So this comes in at about $120, a little more than double of what the current price for the D2 version is. But I think it's worth it. You've got G10 handles. You have a really nice kind of like PVD finish to this. It's a anodized finish to the pivot right here. So the pivot is a really nice blue anodized. And they also did the same thing with the hollowed out barrel spacers. So they've got these blue barrel spacers on the back as well. And it adds a little bit of the accent to the knife as well. Makes it look better, in my opinion. This is not a USA Kershaw. It's designed in the USA. All the QC is done in the USA, but it's actually manufactured in China, which I think is kind of nice because they keep the cost down quite a bit, but then you still get the Kershaw USA QC. So they're going to do their own QC on these knives before they send them out here in the States. So if that's something that you look into and you kind of weigh as you go through how you purchase your knife, just something I thought I'd mention there. You do have a deep carry pocket clip, but it is not a recessed clip. You've got the recessed screws, but the clip isn't recessed. It actually kind of bevels up on that edge right there and then sits into it. But you do have a nice deep carry, and it's going to be pretty close to a actual bottomed out deep carry. So that's a plus for me because I like deep carry knives. Other than that, I think this is well worth the upgrades. I believe the D2 version also has FRN scales, so this is an upgrade to G10 scales. So you've got G10 from FRN, and you've got S35VN from a D2 steel. Other than that, they're pretty much side by side the same knife. They didn't change the size of the blade. They didn't change anything really on the ergos. They just kind of changed the material. And that was about it. And then they added a blue accent. So you can tell the difference too because the S35VN is going to have the blue accent versus just the black coming through here as well. So yeah, I think it's a pretty sweet knife for 120 bucks. This is where if I had someone who was asking me for a good kind of beater knife with a more premium steel, this is something that I would point them to, especially if they like bar locks. It's going to beat out something like the bug out for cost, in my opinion. It's going to beat out something like the bug out. And it's probably going to be a little more useful than the bug out with this blade shape. And it's a little sturdier too. It's a lightweight knife, but it feels a little sturdier in hand. And at 120 bucks, you can't really go wrong with that. So yeah, I think this is definitely a win for Kershaw. They've been putting out more stuff recently, and I like what they're doing. I feel like a lot of people start in that Kershaw Civivi range, and some of these budget brands are starting to say, hey, don't forget about us, and they're coming out with some real bangers in this category, and I would definitely throw this Heist in that category. And this Duralock, the bar lock that Kershaw has right here, is actually pretty nice. The Omega springs on this feel really nice. They're not too tight, they're not too loose. Good retention as it's coming through, and it's really snappy as it comes out as well. So I like that about this. Don't have much else to say, but until next time, wow, my face got really red there. Until next time, TTFN.